Welcome back to Movies Are So Back, the YouTube movie review channel where I, Ethan Simmie, ask the question, are movies so back? 2024 has officially come to a close, and with it, I have seen 110 brand new films. I just watched The Beekeeper last night. I gotta be honest, an absolutely unhinged and ridiculous way to end 2024, but here we are, a year of maybe good cinema, a lot of really high highs and a lot of really low lows. But in the mix, there are 10 of my favorite movies. So without further ado, here are my 10 favorite movies of 2024. Number 10, Aaron Schimberg's A Different Man. This movie came out from A24 this year. It is a criminally underseen and underrated film. It's a deep, dark, black comedy about a guy who doesn't like the way that he looks, so he gets surgery to change that, until one day he comes across a guy who looks just like he used to look. And then he proceeds to have a true mental breakdown about what it means to accept yourself. Adam Pearson and Sebastian Stan are both delivering some deeply affecting and dark performances that are simultaneously hilarious, which is a kind of impossible to do, but they do it. This movie hasn't really left my head since I saw it. I love this movie. More people need to watch this movie. It is undoubtedly one of the best of the year. Number 9 is The Bike Riders from director Jeff Nichols. I feel like I might be the only person on the planet with this movie in their top 10, and I don't really get that because this movie is really fucking good and really fucking cool. It stars Tom Hardy, Austin Butler, Jodie Comer, and Mike Feist, and it follows a Midwestern motorcycle club named the Vandals as it begins to grow and evolve and impact relationships and lives. And honestly, it's just a movie about identity. Again, much in line with my number 10. It's just a movie about who we say we are versus who we actually are, and kind of the deception and difference in those two very simple and clear things. I love this movie. Streaming on Peacock right now. More people should watch it. More people should rate it highly. It bombed at the box office. We failed the Bike Riders. I can't get into this. I can make a whole video talking about why we need to appreciate the Bike Riders, but it's my number 9 of the year for a reason. Number 8, Alex Garland's Civil War, my second A24 movie on this list. Interestingly enough, the fact that this movie didn't make the shortlist for Best Sound at the Oscars is criminal. Someone should go to prison for that, because if any movie deserves to even be on the short list, it's this movie. This movie turned out to be pretty wildly divisive in the culture, in the pop culture of movie fandom, and I don't really get that. I think this movie has a lot to say, and I think it actually says a lot of it pretty intelligently. And there was a lot of conversation around how this movie is apolitical, and Alex Garland talking about what this movie actually stands for. I think this movie has a lot more to say than people give it credit for, and it is much better than people give it credit for. I think Wagner Moura's performance in this movie is one of the most underrated performances in a movie in 2024. It is absolutely stone cold and gut-wrenching. Jesse Plemons, kind of the villain of the year with his 90 seconds of screen time in this movie. Of course, Kaylee Spaney delivering a really good, solid performance in Civil War. I love this movie. I own the 4K, had to have it. It's just outright one of the best movies of the year. Number 7 is Dee Dee. I saw this movie all the way back in January at Virtual Sundance, and it has remained in my top 10 of the year for the entire year. So if that says anything to you, it's the fact that Dee Dee is the real deal. This is a passionate, hysterical, delightfully touching coming-of-age story that is also only 94 minutes long. That's pretty sweet. This movie takes place during the exact summer that I also was heading into high school, so it kind of found my sweet spot, and it hooked me right in. It's so accurate about the struggles of trying to fit in with new friends and feeling the pressure of time forcing you to grow up. It's very good. It's also streaming on Peacock right now, so if you want to check it out, you can just fire it up right now. Number 6, another movie that we failed at the box office, another movie that society has just cast aside, unfortunately, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. This is maybe not even just one of the best of the year, probably one of the best of the 2020s, and that's what hurts my soul, is the fact that this movie just doesn't get enough recognition that it deserves. I could go into an entire 25 minute review of Furiosa Mad Max Saga, and if you want me to do that, let me know in the comments, because I would be happy. I just need one person to be like, do it, and then I will. But I will just say this about Furiosa. Anya Taylor-Joy, one of the best actors we have right now, and we don't appreciate her. Chris Hemsworth needs to be doing more weird shit like this, because he's lights out. Absolutely lights out in this movie. And in a year that is, in theory, filled with epics, obviously we have Dune Part 2, The Brutalist, an American epic of sorts, and then this film, I think this is the best of those epics. It's truly a biblical-sized storytelling. I love Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. And even saying it now, I feel like it should be higher on my list, but alas, here we are. Speaking of epics, number 5, another epic is The Brutalist, a movie that a majority of people have not had the chance to see, and I understand that, so I'm not going to talk about it a lot, but it is an incredible, absolutely genre-defining, year-defining, generation-defining style movie. It's epic in every fashion. It's epic in the way that it was shot in VistaVision 35mm. It's epic in the fact that it took director Brady Corbet 7 years to get this movie made. It's epic in the fact that it only cost $10 million to make a movie that is 3.5 hours long and contains such heavy, deep, dark, disturbing, prevailing themes on the American dream. Adrian Brody, Guy Pearce, absolute lights out performances from both of these guys. The Brutalist is a movie that a lot of people are going to be talking about for a very long time, especially heading into the Academy Awards, and it is one of the best of 2024, without a doubt. Number 4 is none other than Megalopolis. Yes, you heard that correctly. Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, a movie that has been critically and culturally panned, is one of my favorites of the year and one of my favorites of the decade so far. One of the very few movies that I gave 5 stars to in 2024. I wrote up a lengthy review of this movie for the website that I write for, agentsoffandom.com. After I saw this at TIFF, I waited a few weeks and I saw it again in IMAX when it came out nationally, just to confirm that I indeed was not festival brained and festival pilled, and just gave it 5 stars and wrote up a good positive review because I saw it at a festival and it was really cool. And indeed, it is a 5-star movie. It is really cool. And I think that Francis Ford Coppola, taking everything that he's done for 50 years and putting all of that together in such a weird, out-of-pocket, brilliantly constructed, totally earnest picture of how humanity will always repeat the same sins of the previous generation, no matter how hard they try not to repeat those sins, is amazing. It's a masterpiece. I love Megalopolis. Now, right before I get into my top 3, just some very quick honorable mentions. These are movies that fall right outside of my top 10. Number 15, Perfect Days from director Wim Wenders. Number 14 is Here from Robert Zemeckis. I did a whole video review about this film that you can find on my channel, but I think, again, a deeply misunderstood movie of 2024. Number 13 is Dune Part 2, a movie that I recognize and understand its epicness and importance, and it is a damn good movie. I'm just a little bit lower on it than most people. Number 12, Jason Reitman's Saturday Night. Conversely to Dune Part 2, I feel like I'm a lot higher on this movie than a lot of other people. Number 11 is Conclave. I love this movie. I just love this movie. It hurts that I have to put it outside of the top 10, but here we are. It's as close as it can be. Number 3, Sing Sing. Interestingly enough, another movie that a lot of people unfortunately haven't had the chance to see because A24 has kind of bungled the release of this film, although it will be making another nationwide release, so hopefully a lot more people can see this movie. It is truly a magnificent film. It's emotionally affecting. Coleman Domingo is capital A acting in the best possible way. Clarence Macklin, a guy that was incarcerated at one point and did attend this program that Sing Sing defines and talks about, is lights out. He is a stunner on the screen and in this movie, and the fact that this film is taking place in a prison and it is shot with people who were formerly incarcerated and part of this program kind of just makes it the entire package. Last time I saw this movie, and I've seen it 3 times now, I cried from the first frame to the last frame. Again, another movie that I have reviewed on this channel, so go seek out that review if you want to hear more of my thoughts on it. But it's a magnificent, magnificent film. Number 2, Challengers. What's there to say about this movie that hasn't already been said? One of the sexiest, most deeply disturbing and uncomfortable and thrilling movies of the year. I feel like this movie should just be playing every month on IMAX. You know, movies are making a comeback in IMAX. I feel like Challengers should just be on a constant rotation because hearing that score, seeing the juice that Luca Guadagnino has in this film, the trifecta that is Mike Feist, Zendaya, and Josh O'Connor totally just getting at each other in Challengers is brilliant stuff. I adore this film. I was just listening to the score yesterday, and every time I listen to the score, I want to watch this movie. So I feel like that's a really good indication that this movie has the juice. It has the staying power. It is as good as people say it is, as I say it is. And my number 1 movie of 2024, which should be as no surprise if you listen to my podcast or follow me on Letterboxd, or if you've been tuning into this channel for a while, I saw The TV Glow from director Jane Schoenbrunn. This is a generation-defining movie. This is a cinema-defining movie. This is a storytelling-defining journey There's so much that I could say about I Saw the TV Glow, and I've talked ad nauseum about this film on many podcasts that I've been on. If you want me to do a deep dive on this film on this channel, I'd be super happy to. Again, just say the word and I'm there. But every time that I think about this film, every time I listen to the original soundtrack that is absolutely incredible, every time that I think about a scene, I'm drawn back into just the glow of this film, the absolute visionary presence to communicate such a horrific, horrendous, gut-wrenching idea of life and of identity. Again, here we are, number one, equating to 10 and 9. These ideas about identity and who we are and who we say we are and who we should be are horrific and hopeful things. And it is truly a masterclass that they were told narratively in this fashion in this movie. I Saw the TV Glow. And I think this movie has the most impactful final frame of the year. I will just say that. A lot of people think it's Anora, and I would beg to differ. I would say that it's I Saw the TV Glow. There you have it. My top 10 movies of 2024. So are movies so back? Not like they were last year. I'll just say that. There are far too many mediocre to poor films that have released this year, but for now, movies are so back. These are my top 10 favorite movies of the year and movies that I plan to rewatch on a regular basis. So I think that is worth something. What movies are in your top 10 of 2024? Leave a comment below and let me know. I'd be very curious to see your list, see what movies stuck with you this year and which ones that you liked the most. Remember to like and subscribe. You can also follow me on Letterboxd to hear more of my movie takes, and I'll see you in the next video.